Hi, assalamualaikum. My name is Nik Nur Ramia binti Nikman and I'm from EC110-4C. In this video, I will explain about 10 most common types PPE that used in construction work and some of hazard environment in construction site, possible danger that may expose to workers and the most suitable types of PPE used to prevent the exposure. PPE is Personal Protective Equipment Management. PPE is equipment worn to minimize exposure to hazards that cause serious workplace injuries and illness. PPE should be opted at the last line of defense after due consideration have been given to other alternative controls such as elimination, substitution, isolate, administrative. And PPE also refers to all equipment such as device, appliance, associate accessories. Every employer must aware about training in the use PPE, standards which apply to PPE, signs to inform person about PPE, the system of control over the supply allocation, maintenance, and repair of PPE and documentation, and the need for provision of PPE. There are 10 most common types of PPE in construction work. First is hard hats. Hard hats has many types of hard hats with their meaning. First is the yellow hard hats. Yellow hard hats is usually used for general labor and earth moving operator. Next is blue hard hats. Blue hard hats is usually used for carpenters and other technical operators including electrician. After that is green hard hats. Green hard hats is usually used for safety officer. For the orange hard hats is usually used for road crew, new employees or visitors. And the red hard hats is usually used for emergency workers and firefighter. For white hard hats is usually used for site manager, foreman, engineer, and supervisor. The next is brown hard hats. Brown hats are worn by welders and other workers with high heat application. And the last one is grey hard hats. Grey hard hats is usually used by site visitor. The purpose of the hard hats color codes are to identify a person and his responsibility and to avoid any accidents. Number 2 is face shield. Face shields are intended to protect the entire face from impact hazards such as flying fragments, objects, larger chips, and particles. Number 3 is gloves. Gloves to protect and to comfort hands against cold or heat, damage by friction, abrasion or chemicals, and disease. It's also to provide a guard for what bare hand should not touch. Number 4 is eye protection. Eye protection such as goggles is to protect against more serious eye hazard like dust, flying particles, molten metal, and hot liquids, and it should be used whenever a tight seal is required to protect the eyes. This is to prevent any object or liquid from slipping through the space between the face and the eyewear. Number 5 is earplugs and earmuffs. Earplugs and earmuffs are to protect the wearer's ears from excessive noise pollution, dust or temperature variation, especially in cold weather. Number 6 is respirators. Respirators is to protect the wearer from inhaling hazardous atmospheres, including fumes, vapors, gases, and particulate matter such as dust and airborne microorganisms. Number 7 is proximity sensors. Proximity sensors is to detect the presence of nearby object without any physical contact. A proximity sensor often emits an electromagnetic field or a beam of electromagnetic radiation and looks for change in the field or return signal. Number 8 is surgical face mask. Surgical face mask is to help block large particle droplet, splashes, sprays, or splatter that may contain germs, keeping it from reaching mouth and nose. And it is also to help reduce exposure of saliva and respiratory secretion to others. Number 9 is leggings, foot guards, and safety boots. It is for protection of feet and legs from falling or rolling objects, sharp objects, molten metal, hot surface, and wet, slippery surface. For the leggings, it's protect the lower leg. For safety boots, it's protect feet from molten metal or welding sparks. And the last is number 10, body shields. Body shields is to provide visibility of the person wearing it in low daylight or in the dark when illuminated by headlights of vehicles and mechanized equipment. Hazard environment at construction site. First is physical hazards. Example of physical hazard is drilling the ground. The possible danger to other workers is can produce dust and high noise sound that can make other workers uncomfortable. The risks that may expose to workers are shortness of breath, coughing, and vision becomes blurred. The most suitable PPE can use in this situation to prevent the risks are surgical face masks, eye protection, and ear muffs and ear plugs. The second for hazard environment is biological hazard. The example of biological hazards in construction are plants, insects, animals, water or sewage, and others. The possible danger to other workers are bacteria, fungi, mites, and virus transmitted from animals. The risk that may expose to workers is allergy, and the most suitable PPE that can use in these hazards to prevent the risk are gloves, leggings, foot guards, and safety boots, and surgical face masks. The third hazard environment is chemical hazard. The example for chemical hazards are handling any chemical things in construction sites, and possible danger to other workers are acid, paint, and caustic substance. The risks that may expose to workers are poisoning, headache, and skin rashes. The most suitable PPE that can use in this hazard environment to prevent the risk are respirator, glove, leggings, foot guards, and safety shoes. The last is safety hazard. Example of safety hazards is fixing the roof. Possible danger to other workers are falling object thrown. The risks that may expose to workers are crushing injuries, strain or sprain, cuts, and shearing injuries. And the most suitable PPE can use in these hazard environments to prevent the risk are hard hats, face shield, and body shields. In conclusion, PPE is important when entering the construction site because it will protect workers from danger or accident. It also can minimize the risk for workers, which are prevent the harmful bacteria that expose to workers and prevent injuries like falling object. Besides that, it can less sickness for workers and helps prevent workers' emergency on job due to inhalation, absorption, irritants, or other prolonged contact with cleaning chemicals.
I think that's all that I can share in this video. Anyways, thank you. Bye!